Then go through each item on that list and don't think about it so much as feel about it. And here's what I mean by that. We think in our minds, and it's very easy for those of us who go on a spiritual path to get lost in the philosophies of it, the concepts of it, get lost in all the thoughts and the ideas. That's important, but it's also important to know what you feel. So you think in your mind, but you feel in your body. Hi, I'm Aaron Tomlinson, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I want to talk about how can you know which spiritual path is right for you? So if you're like me and you have deconstructed from Christianity, or you're just exploring spirituality, you have interest in spirituality and spiritual things, it can be difficult in this day and age, in the information age especially, to know which spiritual path to choose. There are so many. And so I want to just share my thoughts after 7 years of deconstructing from the spiritual path that I was on, which was Christianity, and exploring all kinds of different spiritual traditions and philosophies and metaphysics to find the one that fits for me and some of the things that I learned. So there's an old saying that's attributed to the oracle at Delphi in Greece, that there was a sign above the door as you entered that said, "Know thyself." And I think this is a really important and often misunderstood or neglected. That's really the word I'm looking for. This is a neglected truth, or in part of the endeavor of the spiritual path, to know yourself. You can think about it this way. If you're going to go shopping for clothes, or you're going to go shopping for shoes, you got to know what size you wear. You've got to know which shirt is going to fit you, which shoe is going to fit you before you even get started, right? So what I would suggest is that you take your time with this, especially if you're just starting out, especially if you deconstructed from Christianity. Take some time to get to know yourself first. Get to know what you're going to resonate with before you even start looking. So how do I do that? Or how do you do that? Well, here's some really practical ways. One of the things that I talked about in a previous video was the importance, if you had been a part of a religious system where you felt like you gave up too much of yourself, or you are coming out of a relationship that was full of narcissistic type abuse, one of the main tasks that we must do is recover our authentic self. So for a lot of people who've deconstructed from religion, recovering your authentic self is the first and most important task before you move on to something else. And so that requires spending some time being introspective, spending some time thinking about yourself and feeling about yourself as well. And here's what I mean by that. It would be a good idea to take some time and just write down, what are your beliefs? Just take some time exploring, what are your current beliefs about the nature of reality, about spirituality, about God, about science, all that kind of stuff. Just sit down and make yourself a list of what you currently think and what you currently believe. It doesn't matter if it's true. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. That probably will change as you go down a spiritual path, but it's important to know where you're starting. So I would recommend that you sit down and make a list of what you currently believe and what you currently think. And then the second thing I think is just as important, if not more important, that you sit down and make a list of what's really important to you. What are the things that you really value for you in this season of your life? Is it authenticity? Is it love? Is it grace? Is it power? Is it pursuit of material things? And be honest with yourself. The important thing when you're working through this, and you're working through your values and you're working through what's important to you, you're also looking at what your desires are. And the important thing is to not judge your values or judge your desires by whether or not you think they're right or wrong, or whether or not you think you should have them or shouldn't have them. The main question you want to ask yourself is this authentic to me? Is this authentic to me? And just go ahead and make a list. It's just brainstorming. Again, you're not making any commitments. You're just exploring yourself. You're doing some introspection, and you're getting to know yourself. So then once you have these two lists, you have one list is what I believe currently about myself, about the nature of reality, the nature of God, etc. You have another list, what's important to me, what do I value in this season of my life. Then go through each item on that list and don't think about it so much as feel about it. And here's what I mean by that. We think in our minds, and it's very easy for those of us who go on a spiritual path to get lost in the philosophies of it, the concepts of it, get lost in all the thoughts and the ideas. That's important, but it's also important to know what you feel. So you think in your mind, but you feel in your body. And so take each item on your list and notice how you feel when you read that item. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Does it feel genuine for you? Does it feel right for you? Does it feel congruent for you? And if it does, keep it on the list. And if it doesn't, scratch it out and mark it off. And then once you've done that sort of editing on those lists, then go ahead and do the third part of this exercise. And the third part of this exercise is that you start to rank these things in order of their importance. In other words, what do I believe that I really, really believe and that's really important to me? What do I value that's really important to me? And try to rank those things. This will help you to know yourself. This will help you to know what size you wear, if you understand what I'm saying, before you go out and start exploring spiritual paths. And it gives you something to make a comparison with as you're reading, as you're studying, and as you're being exposed to videos or books or philosophies or spiritual techniques and spiritual paths. And you can then see if that matches with where your current level of vibration is. Now, this is important. Remember, you're going to change. There's no point in exploring or in embarking on a spiritual journey if you don't realize that change is part of the process. So it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to let things go. And it's okay to be eclectic, especially in this day and age. It's okay to take something from one path and something from another path and go ahead and leave alone parts of it that don't vibe with you, that don't check out with you, and go ahead and take something from somewhere else that fits you. And so that's the advice that I would give on how do you explore and find the spiritual path that's right for you. Thank you very much for watching this short video. If you liked it, I hope you'll subscribe, that you'll like and your comment, and maybe share the video. And also I would invite you, if you haven't and you would like to know more about what we're doing, join our New Day Global Facebook group. You'll find the link in the bio. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.